guys, how you doing? Out here at the old military trail, Lake Perry, northeast Kansas. I'm doing a little test on the Kelty Redwing 50. I had won this pack in a giveaway from EDC Adventures. I've got it packed as if I was doing an overnighter. Hopefully I'll get one in this weekend, if not, maybe next. But I went ahead and loaded it like I'd be doing a overnighter. And I wanted to give it a little practice hike and a practice pack, if you would. It packed out a lot larger than I thought it would. A couple things that I do see that I have to adjust to from my other packs. I'm used to the MOLLE straps everywhere. This doesn't have the MOLLE, so that it's not a bad thing. It's just something different I have to adjust to. I really didn't have a place to put my sleeping pad. There are some MOLLE straps at the bottom, so I just used some cordage and tied the sleeping pad there. Anyway, let's throw this on and get hitting the trail. And the reason I chose this trail is one of my first solo overnighters, wasn't the first one, but one of the first ones I did was on this trail. And I had my larger pack and I had it packed to the hill. I did not study this trail. As soon as I rounded the corner, the first hill I hit, I thought, what did I get myself into? It is a pretty hilly trail. So that's the reason I chose this trail, to test this out, knowing what it's like carrying my other packs. Let me get this loaded up, and let's hit the trail. Made it up here to the campsite. Sun's starting to drop a little bit, so I hope the shading's okay. I hope enough lighting. But let me try and get this done before I run out of light. Would I recommend the Kelty Redwing 50? Yes, I would. I will say it's a lot different than the packs I'm used to. As I mentioned, the MOLLE strapping. If you're used to MOLLE strapping, this really makes you rethink how you pack your gear. And as far as packing gear, I see this will make me refine quite a bit what I carry and how I carry it on my way to ultralight camping. Would I say this is an ultralight pack? Probably not, but it's a good step towards it, especially compared to the packs I have. The only thing, like I said, the MOLLE strapping I have to get used to. I miss having outer straps I can hook my tripod to. I'm trying to attach my bedroll up here instead and see how that carries on the way back. Wasn't a problem on the bottom. There are MOLLE straps on the bottom. I had no problem with the bedroll or the padding, mattress, whatever you want to call it, at the bottom. Didn't even know it was there. The one thing that got me at first, as you can see, my chest strap came loose from the other side. The first time I went to snug it up, it popped off. And I thought, oh my God, I ripped it already. But it has a slide mount that it just slides on. If I can get it to go back on. Okay, it does go back on. It takes a little bit of fighting. I did get it on. I guess that's made so that you don't pull the straps too tight on your chest. I don't know, it must be some kind of feature they have. But as I said, it came apart on me when I first put it on. And as I was hiking, I tugged on the strap and it popped off on me. So I must have had it too tight. Speaking of the straps, let me show you something. I was really impressed with the belt strapping. A lot of straps just go through one time, loops through, and you just pull on the buckle and it tightens, and that could be pretty tight. This kind of goes back through. I don't know what configuration you'd call that, but it pulls smooth and it tightens up nicely on your hip belt. And speaking of that, I was carrying it, and before I got out here I read the instructions. Yeah, I did. But it mentions you want to carry the pack with the weight on your hip belt, not on your shoulders. So about halfway up here, I stopped. I noticed I had more weight on my shoulders. I tightened this up, put it more on my hip bone, and I took a little pressure off my shoulders. It carried like a totally different pack. So you want to know how it carried. It carried very well. Can't say, okay, I put all my gear in there and all of a sudden I was running up and down the hills and all my gear felt like a feather. No, that's not going to happen. I mean, if you go to an ultralight pack, all ultralight gear, you might see results like that. But did it make a big difference? Yes, it did. A lot of my gear carried better. It has the aluminum frame on it, which fit nicely on my back. It seemed to give me enough room to get some airflow. It took the weight off of my back. I wasn't ready to yank the pack off as soon as I got to the campsite here. I will say I did some artistic shots on the way up here, and yeah, it was for the video, but I also did that so I could get some more back and forth up the hills, testing how the pack carried. And I was really shocked that I wasn't totally worn out. I'm not in the best of shape, but I wasn't totally worn out when I got up here. I wasn't just ready to rip the pack off my back. It carried nicely. The one thing I will say is, if there was any issues, it was how I had the pack set up. I was carrying the weight on my shoulders, not on my hips. I had to stop and adjust it. I was carrying it, as I said, on my shoulders, and it was, causing me to lean a little bit or lean forward as I was going up hills. What I did was I stopped and I tightened my hip belt a little bit tighter. The instructions that come with it, they're not the best, but that is one thing it mentions. It says tighten the hip belt up a little bit tighter than you usually would and carry the weight on your hip bone. So I did that, and I loosened the straps up a little bit on my shoulders. It made a world of difference. Anyway, guys, there's my thoughts on the Kelty Redwing. Hopefully I'll see you out on the trail. All right, guys, my thoughts on the hike back. Because as we know, hiking has two parts, the hiking in and the hiking out. Actually, the hiking out I thought was a lot better. I put more of the weight on my hip. I didn't feel any weight at all on my shoulders. I loosened that up a little bit, tightened up the hip belt a little bit more. As I mentioned, I put the mattress pad on top. Much better. I didn't really notice it back here on the bottom, but this was even better. It just seemed to take less stress off. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but it carried much better. I'm going to tell you, this hike that I just did has kicked my butt before, hiking in and hiking out. This did make a big difference. I actually got to enjoy the hike out. I got to slow down, look at what I was hiking through. I wasn't just focused on getting to my car. So, again, I would recommend the Kelty Redwing 50. But besides that, guys, if your pack's killing you, it's not fitting right, try some adjustments. See if those adjustments work. If they don't, try a couple other packs. You know, that pack you have may be good for one environment, but not another. But try a few packs out, find one that fits you, make sure you have your adjustments right. Enjoy your hiking. Thanks for watching, guys. Let's Stroud. This ain't easy, man. I need a cameraman.